we have to talk about definitions here because everybody acts as if a word means nothing and they can just say something about a system of economics or about anything, and that it's just true because they say it. Uh, when nothing could be further from the truth. I hear all these people talking, or I read people online talking about capitalism and how capitalism has enslaved us, how communism has, would be a totally free system and people would be so much better off under communism and all this different stuff. So, you know, and I was just in front of a argument that was being had in the comment section of one of my videos, and I've lost it now. I'm trying to get back to it. But the guy was saying, you know, we're under control all the time of capitalism because right now we have corporate monopolies and conglomerates and all this different stuff. And so he says capitalism doesn't work. Well, this is where you need a definition of capitalism. Capitalism, in my mind, is free markets in the realm of economics. That's all it is. And so how can you talk about a corporate conglomerates and monopolies and stuff when that is not have anything to do with free markets? If you want to talk about mercantilism and corporations using the political machine to their advantage, then we can talk about fascism, we can talk about mercantilism, we can talk about protectionism, and all of that. But that is not capitalism. Okay? We need to define what it is we're talking about. So not just everybody can just throw out a word and make any accusations surrounding, that economic system. Capitalism is the absence of government coercion in the realm of economics. It's very simple. So then people point to, problems that they have where government has favored certain groups and they say, well, this is a problem with capitalism. No, it's ridiculous. You can't point to this computer that I'm on and call it a dog. A dog is a defined, set of criteria. Okay, you can't just point to a dog and call it a rabbit. Rabbits and dogs are defined by certain criteria. Okay, so this is a pretty good definition, I think. It says an economic system in which investment in and ownership of the means of production, distribution, and exchange of wealth is made and maintained chiefly by private individuals or corporations, especially as contrasted to these things being owned cooperatively or state-owned means of wealth. And I would say that's a flawed definition there because it's not maintained chiefly by private individuals or corporations, but solely. And so we have to talk about definitions. You can't just throw out anything that you want. But then let's talk about definition of communism. See, because what you have online is people saying, oh, you have people making accusations against capitalism, and you have somebody like me saying, oh, that's not true capitalism. And then you have people making accusations against communism, and the communists are saying, oh, but that's not true communism. That's not the Marxist vision of communism. Okay, but the Marxists can never get around the fact that first Marx believed in a dictatorship. Yeah, he said it was a dictatorship of the proletariat. Okay, but that only means the proletariat reigning over, the landowner or the bourgeois. Okay, so that I don't see where that comes, you know, into an advantage. I don't see how that is true freedom. True freedom when one class is ruling over the other class. Okay, Marx did believe in the antagonistic nature of economics, that one person was always benefiting at the expense of another. Uh, he did believe in antagonism between the classes and that they were inherently antagonistic. He did believe that work was exploitation. Okay, he did believe in state control of the means of production. He did. He did. He believed in the workers controlling the means of production, and he believed in the dictatorship of the proletariat. So all he did was believe that the state should be controlled by workers, and that this worker-controlled state should control the means of production. Okay? So when I accuse communism of being a massive statist bureaucracy that eventually has to be controlled by smaller and smaller groups for there to be any possibility of any decisions being made, that's legitimate criticism of communism, because that's what Marx advocated. That is what Marx advocated. And any communist that wants to deny that has not even read Marx. Okay? But what capitalism, all the way down from Smith, all the way through more modern people like Milton Friedman, even into different schools like the Austrian school and things like that, down through Menger and Mises and Rothbard and all of them. They believed in the absence of government coercion in the realm of economics. Even Rothbard, the anarchist that he was, he called his philosophy anarcho-capitalism. Okay, so the capitalism has been defined by the absence of government coercion in the realm of economics all throughout the history of that philosophy. While from the very beginning, communism advocated control by the state and favoritism of one group over another. Okay, so I'm tired of all these accusations against capitalism about the monopolies of the corporations and all this other stuff. It's always been advocating the opposite. And in fact, it's under state-controlled economic systems that you find this great disparity and these great monopolies of the quote-unquote corporations, because they're only favored groups is all they are. They may clothe themselves in the corporate banner, but they're only favored groups. You tell me all these workers that are going to have control of this state, you tell me they're not going to be a profit-making entity for themselves? They're going to turn into these little benevolent government angels? No, they're going to control the state for their own profit, which is nothing more than mercantilism and political capitalism, political favoritism. So, I mean, just get it right. Either know the people, if you're going to be a communist, know Marx, and if you're going to criticize capitalism, you might want to do a little reading on that too. And you can choose anybody you want to. But definitions are important because words mean something. You can't just argue and say anything you want to and expect it to stick as a legitimate criticism. Especially, you're talking nonsense. So let's get it right, people. Let's do some reading.